Sunday, WWE held the first ever all-women's pay-per-view in the form of Evolution. And in case WWE didn't remind you enough times, this was a historic occasion. The hype kind of died down as we approached the event, but there were still some much anticipated matches booked for the event. So, without further ado, let's see if WWE Evolution was a hit or a miss. The event started on a solid note, with the clash between Alicia Fox and Mickie James against the team of Hall of Famers Lita and Trish Stratus. The match was quite good, with everyone doing a decent job, especially James, whose interactions with Stratus were fun reminders of their past rivalry. Stratus and Lita looked much better than many expected, hitting some great offense without showing any major signs of ring rust. In fact, the most clear botch of the match came at the hands of Fox. The ending was solid, allowing the legends to showcase their signature moves. Overall, this was a fun nostalgia trip that really got the crowd hot and was a great choice to open the night. Up next was the first Contender Battle Royale, which despite the initial negative reaction after its announcement, ended up being quite fun to watch. It started as your average Battle Royale, with everyone brawling and a couple of women eliminated early. After reducing about half the competition, the match improved greatly, with some fun moments like Nia Jax and Tamina destroying everyone in the ring, Asuka and Ember Moon battling, and a pretty entertaining sequence with Zelina Vega almost getting the win. In the end, Nia Jax got the win, which makes sense since she never got to finish her match with Ronda Rousey, but the crowd really wanted to see Ember get the win. Hopefully she'll get a chance sometime soon. But for the moment, congrats to Nia. Next, we had the finals of this year's Mae Young Classic. The match started slowly with some mat wrestling, before kicking into next gear for the remainder of the match. They increasingly raised the intensity as time passed, with Storm hitting some great looking moves, notably a German suplex on the apron. All while Shirai showed why they call her the genius of the sky, with some breathtaking high-flying attacks. Shirai kicked out of the Strong Zero, and looked to be on her way to victory, until Storm blocked her top rope moonsault with her knees, and got the win after hitting the Strong Zero for a second time. This was a great match that really captured the Mae Young Classic's essence for the more casual crowds, but ultimately was too short to be the best of the whole tournament. Coming up was arguably the least interesting match on the card, due to its rushed and lackluster build, which ended up being actually entertaining and more than just a glorified TV match. The Riot Squad were in control for a good part of the match, after nailing Bayley with a dropkick against the ring pole. After Bayley managed to get their hot tag on Sasha Banks, the pace of the match picked up, with every woman getting some solid offense and decent near falls. The ending sequence was really good, with the babyfaces hitting their signature moves back to back for the win. Was this the best use of Bayley, Sasha Banks, Natalya and Ruby Riott? Not really. Did they make the most of their situation? Heck yeah! The NXT Women's Championship match started with Shayna Baszler focused on destroying Kairi Sane's arm almost from the get-go. Sane did her best to survive Baszler's attacks, avoiding her moves and hitting some solid strikes of her own, but ended up getting overwhelmed by Baszler's continuous aggressions on her shoulder, closing the first half of the match. The second half was mostly focused on Baszler trying to capitalize on her opponent's injury, but Sane kept responding with counters and strikes while selling the arm damage. The match ended in quite a unique fashion, after Sane accidentally launched Baszler into her MMA horsewomen friends, who distracted Sane, allowing Baszler to lock the Kirifuda clutch for the win. It was a shocking result since Sane won the title not too long ago, but it served as a really good introduction for Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. I don't know where this story will go, but knowing NXT's booking, we don't have anything to worry about. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch were next, in easily the most anticipated match of the night. Unsurprisingly, they delivered the match everyone was hoping for. From the get-go, there was an air of intensity which only grew as the match continued. The use of weapons was superb, with the tables and ladder spots being exceptional. The performers looked desperate to win, going for several different strategies to achieve their goal, only for their opponent to get up just before the 10 count was over, adding more drama to the bout. In the end, Becky found a way to outsmart Charlotte and get the win by powerbombing her through a table. The crowd was firmly behind Becky throughout the entire match, even when she tried to run away with the belt, only showing how much of a star Becky has become in the last couple of months. This was an excellent extreme match that ended this rivalry on a high note and can easily be considered one of the best main roster matches of the year. The main event of the night was the Raw Women's Championship match. It started fine with Ronda Rousey dominating Nikki Bella early in the match. At one point, Brie interfered, allowing Nikki to get the upper hand, and from that point, Ronda spent most of the match selling Nikki's offense. Eventually, Ronda recovered, launched Brie over the announce table, and got the decisive win over the Bella Twins, in a solid ending sequence. Overall, this was a solid match. Nikki and Ronda hit some decent moves, and the crowd was fairly hot for the whole thing. The problem was that after the amazing match that came before, it felt kind of underwhelming. Not the performers' fault, they did a good job, just poor match placement. Despite the disappointingly poor build-up to this event, and a card that at first glance looked like a pile of missed opportunities and lazy booking, Evolution ended up being a wonderful show. There were some great matches in the form of the Mae Young Classic Finals, the NXT Women's Championship match, and the 6-woman tag match. Charlotte vs Becky is to many a genuine contender for match of the year. The technically worst matches on the card were solid affairs with an invested crowd. Even the stage and lighting of the show looked better than your average pay-per-view, giving it a takeover-ish vibe. Evolution was a major success, and should be remembered not just because it was the first ever all-women's event, but because it was an excellent show, arguably the best of 2018. Definitely must see. That's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, see ya!